So this is real talk. So this is about when you come to Hellenic Polytheism, you found a spirituality that brings you so much joy and happiness, but you fear that God will send you to hell. Like I said, a lot of people feel this way, and I can relate. So let's talk about that today. So somebody wrote to me saying that they felt really close to Aphrodite, that they felt a love and joy that they had never felt before, and they wanted to worship the gods and get to practice Hellenic polytheism, but they are afraid. They are afraid. They are afraid because of the Christian God that they grew up being raised in will send them to hell, because if you worship any other gods, you go to hell. So I can definitely relate, because I came to Hellenic polytheism from the same background. I grew up in a religious background, a Christian background, and hell and all that stuff was a constant fear. That when I thought about any other god or goddess and that any others existed, my brain couldn't handle it. That's how, I don't want to say brainwashed, but that's how much ingrained the belief of a solo god was in my life, that thinking that there were other gods and goddesses out there, my brain was like, what? I mean, it was like short circuiting kind of thing, you know? But it was constant fear of hell and sin and all of that. And I needed a spirituality that I could focus on the deity and connection with the god or goddess, the gods, without the fear, without the intimidation that if I do something wrong or if something happens, that I'm in trouble. I grew up in constant fear of that kind of thing, you know? And then, like the person that wrote to me, I found spirituality outside of there, that it was peaceful and a connection with deity, but still in the back of my head, there was that fear. So I can definitely relate to that, especially starting off. And that really is mental abuse when you really think about it. That it also keeps people in line too, that you go and do something else, then when you're dead, you're in a lot of trouble. That scares people, for real. And people that were raised that to believe that, it's going to be with you the rest of your life. Maybe not as strong as it was when you're starting off, when you're coming out of that religion and going into a new spirituality. It's there. You have to not be afraid. This is when it's time to look and think for yourself. It's whenever that you see that other people have peace outside of your religion, and you know there's something that they have, and they're not being tormented or anything, and they find a spiritual peace in that. And then then you're also raised and taught that that's false peace, that you have the real peace. So all of that thinking, I definitely understand whenever you move into a new spiritual light. Whenever you move into a new religion you want to explore, a new spirituality you want to explore, you have that baggage, especially if you were raised in a tradition that told you that everything else is false, and that when you die, if you move out of this, then you're lost. It's scary. And a lot of people are not going to explore outside of where they're comfortable. They're afraid, and rightfully so. I mean, if you're told this all the way from when you're born to whenever you're in your mid 30s and older, like I was, or I am now currently, it's a scary thing. And I know somebody that is a practicing pagan, and they still had that baggage that they worshiped, but they knew that there was a good chance that if they're wrong, they're going to hell. So I can't say that you're going to ever drop that baggage, that you're going to ever, that's ever going to leave you completely. I just have to say to you that you have to find your spiritual truth, that you have to find what connects you. And then whenever you find out what connects you, you find out that it is beautiful, that there is really nothing scary or dangerous. You don't get demon possessed. You don't become this or that they try to tell you. And it's not a false peace. And your life can get better. And you don't have that constant condemnation that makes you feel bad in your head, that makes you worry, stresses you out. That's the kind of thing that you can get rid of. So, moving into another spirituality from one you grew up in is scary. I would say that if you find a draw there to Hellenic Polytheism, or whatever you feel a draw to, explore it. Don't be afraid to see what it's about. And test the water. See if that is your piece right there. If you can connect to the God, goddess, the gods, whatever you want to call it, divinity. If you find it, that's awesome. Someone years ago once told me that any kind of spirituality that punishes you for something like the fear of hell and all that kind of stuff, that's not faith, that's fear. It's control. It really is. That and it also can turn you into a very judgmental person as well. But let's not go there. But yeah, so for the person that wrote to me about they basically want to explore the gods, but they're afraid of the Christian God. I can definitely understand that. But if you have faith in Aphrodite, then you shouldn't fear. And if you have faith in the gods of Olympus, you shouldn't fear another god. Follow the gods that your heart calls to, and that calls to your heart. And don't worry about gods that don't exist in that pantheon. Just consider it that they don't even exist. The God that would punish you that you're afraid of, they don't even exist in where you want to go. And just go ahead and explore. Drop the person and the deity that wants to punish you and go ahead and go to another faith that wants you, that you want. And give it a try and see if that is what's going to make you feel comfortable. And you're going to find a home. And it may be a permanent home, and it may be a temporary home. You may go to one spirituality. I've said this before, but you may go to a spirituality and stay there for a few years and find out that I'm ready to go somewhere else. Because spirituality is constantly evolving to make yourself better and to make yourself more at peace with divinity and yourself. So some people are happy being where they are grown up in. Some people are afraid to step out. And some people step out and they find a home, but it's only a temporary home and they move on. It's wherever you find that fulfillment and makes your life happy. Make your life happy. And I'll talk to you later, guys.